All right. Boy, how's that sound? That sound good?
That sounds great, Bob. What's wrong with it?
Thanks for joining us again from sunny San Diego, California, broadcasting to 175 countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. It's Teenage Sully and Rusty Nailz on the Big Biz Show.
We're going through puberty during the show. Hi.
Welcome back to the military, men and women serving our country overseas and underway. Boy, God bless you for what you do.
Oh, boy, thank you.
A couple of Nancy boys like me and Russ ducking under the desk every time we hear a door slam.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine us there. So listen, I talked about the market kind of hanging on despite all the risks this week, and I also gave you some buy-seller hold to look at, some exchange-traded funds to play with China. One of my favorite guests, and this is a guy, I have to admit, I used to listen to him when I used to drive, when I was a one-market show in San Diego, California. And I would just do 1 hour a day from 12 to 1 Pacific. I'd drive to the studio listening to Phil's gang. And I swear, my entire show changed in the 20 minutes that I drove from my house because of this guy. I've stolen more stuff off of this guy than Obama's stolen off of us. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Grande. Phil, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
I hate to keep
That's your head writer, huh, Sully?
I hate to keep admitting that, Phil. But
that's a compliment.
Yeah, it is.
That is a compliment.
Phil's gang radio show. He's the guy who coined the phrase, "I'm going to tell you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know."
Uh-oh.
And it's some good stuff. Phil, how long have you been doing this on the air?
Be 12 years now.
12 years. So just a little. So just a little over a decade you've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
And the long story short, how you feeling now about the market?
Oh, well, the market, I mean, as long as they have quantitative easing and they continue to print all this money and they keep giving it to the banksters to go out and buy more stocks. I mean, what a deal. Let's think about this deal. This is unbelievable, right? How come you and I can't get this deal? I mean, Bernanke prints the money, all right, gives it to them for no interest, and they first loan some of it right back to Treasury at 4.5%, so they can put a bottom line on their statement, and then they go and then Bernanke by buying all these 10-year the 10-year notes. There's no place to go except the stock market, and the stock market keeps going up. But what really gets me, nobody understands that they're continuing to keep this artificial interest rate low for the purpose of bailing out the owners of the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve balance sheet so that their balance sheet doesn't implode, and to make sure that the owners of the Federal Reserve, like the owners of the railroads and the Peterson family, that their portfolios don't blow up. And I don't know how they're not going to be able to have. They've got to do a quantitative QE3. I mean, otherwise this market will collapse.
Put a resort on Jekyll Island, relive some of the magic of the Fed party.
You know, it's interesting, Phil. Phil Grande is our guest. I want you to check out his website. It's philsgang.com, right, Phil?
Right.
It's interesting because we are continually working, living on a credit card here in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you listening, if you don't know what factoring is, this is a lot like factoring. In other words, we're borrowing against our future invoices.
We sell an invoice at a cut rate
at a discount. But the problem is that we're selling it to ourselves with fake money. Is that about right, Phil?
It's amazing. And what really upsets me about this whole thing, let's think about these guys. They turn around and they decide, these elitists, these gangsters, these banksters, they decide, okay, let's bail out Wall Street. They knew by bailing them out they're going to blow up our budget. And instead of saying, well, we'll fix it and everybody will suffer a little bit, no, let's not do that. Let's just screw the poor, the elderly, disabled. Let's just cut their little support programs. They cut one program from $5 billion down to $2.5 billion. Unbelievable, these people.
You know, the interesting part about this whole thing is that gold continues to rise in spite of all this stuff. I was never a big gold fan.
No, my mom's molars are looking better to me all the time. Hey, Mama, smile one more time. It's 1,400 now.
You know, and now silver's making a comeback. Phil, what's your take on that?
Yeah, we were in the silver mining stocks. We got in last September. PAS, P-A-S, and we stayed with silver mining. We also stayed with GDX and gold. We did terrific with that. I think it's going to continue to do well because the one thing that was amazing is that when everything was blowing up in the Middle East and all the camels were running around, the one thing is, I thought everybody would be going to the dollar, right, for safety. Yeah. Instead, they didn't. I said, oh, man, let's get some more, on the next pullbacks, let's buy some more metals and mining stocks. And there just can't be a recovery. They're just screwing everything up. And I think, how can you have a recovery in this country?
I want to ask this question. I want to duck, okay? Uh-oh. How do you like that? How do you like that 9.999999% unemployment rate as long as this administration's intact?
Get under.
All right, everybody, cover.
Get under.
Are you nuts, man? Yeah. I love the way they do their accounting. Oh, just like the accounting that Sebelius did. How do you like her accounting? And what did you see that? Did you see her testifying in front of the Congress, Sebelius? No. And she admitted that she did double accounting. Finally, we had a Perry Mason moment, and she said, "Okay, you caught me." That was incredible. She's there trying to convince everybody that with $500 billion, she was going to achieve two different things with the same $500 billion, although each task is $500 billion each. And finally, she admitted they've been double accounting.
Yeah, they both got credit for it. Hey,
this is like a Hollywood movie. It's like Hollywood movie accounting.
Sorry.
Charlie Sheen. And you know the name of the movie is? It's called The Titanic. That's the name of the movie. Phil Grande is our guest. He's the radio host of Phil's Gang. Phil, you also have an educational component to what you guys do.
Yeah, we do.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so many people got caught in this, buy and hold, and with all the hidden fees and all these mutual funds, and unless somebody really was on top of their game, there's just no way we see them making any money in mutual funds, especially all the hidden fees. So we said, look, why don't we just show them how to make some money? Let's put it on a chart and show them, which most people have problems with executing when to get into a stock. And the key is, look, why don't you just wait, be patient, and I can show you on a chart when you should execute, just looking at some simple lines, and let's see if we can help you. However, the deal was we're helping you do one thing, to raise money every day for St. Jude. So if we help you, all we ask is you in turn help St. Jude. And we don't want you to send any money unless my teaching you, my class, really makes a difference. And then just send to St. Jude's, because my son had cancer, and it was and that's how I started the whole radio show, by the way.
The name of his website is philsgang.com. I don't know if Phil is even, I don't know if Marta, Phil's partner over there, has broke this news to you, but I'm trying to get you on TV here. Did she tell you that?
Yes, she did.
I mean, listen, man. I'm telling you right now.
Phil.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I got big plans for you, buddy. I can see you nicely filling in over here on the same TV network that we're on. By the way, for our listeners that are in the 175 countries and all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network, listening to us on radio there, you can also catch my regular program weekdays on television, on ALN and Biz Television, 35 million cable home strong. I'm trying to get Phil over there. I'm not sure that actually, I think Marta dropped the bomb on him last night, but I've been working this deal for a couple of months. There's nothing in it for us other than we get to steal his listeners after we're off the air.
That's perfect. I got a week in Vegas coming up. I need someone to fill in Phil.
Yeah, Phil would fill in.
There you go.
So, Phil, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is this one of those things where this economy is going to have to reach rock bottom, or is there any saving it for right now?
No, there's no way. They blew it up. There's no saving it. I mean, these crooks. Look, it was designed right from the beginning for the elitists, the big boys, to make the money. I mean, they designed it. When they saved these banks, they knew they were going to blow this thing up, the budget, and like $62 billion is going to fix it. And they knew they're going to blow it up. They really didn't care. They didn't sit around and say, hey, you know what, we're all going to share some pain here. They said, no, we're not going to share any pain. We're just going to get richer, and we're going to screw all the small people. No, this thing is so bad, there is just no way to solve it. It's it's like an addict. You got to let them crash. And this market is an addict. I mean, they keep on pumping in all this money. They keep printing this money just like a drug, and it's insane. I love it. I see this every time it goes up. I love it. And you just get in there and ride it. It's like the doc. I told my gang, I said, at the end of the .con, I said, never again will ever see anything lined up like this again, where the stars, the moon, and everything was lined up perfectly to make all kinds of money. And this is the closest to it. I mean, think about it. All this guy does is keep printing money, and then when he prints the money and he buys all these 10-year notes, there's nowhere else to go but the stock market. But the problem is, once they stop, he's going to be like an addict. He's going to go nuts.
This is almost like the Madoff thing. You know, once the dominoes go, the dominoes keep going.
This intervention ain't working.
Yeah. So what are you doing to protect yourself, Phil? What are you telling your listeners?
Well, what we're doing is we're really focusing on doing a lot of swing trades. We're focusing on doing staying with our metals, stay copper and gold, silver, and a lot of agricultural like DBA. We're heavy in DBA, and we're just focusing, really, to be honest, just on metals and mining stocks and agricultural stocks, because we see it. That's the only area you really can be in. I mean, it's working terrific as long as they keep screwing things up, and they will continue to screw things up. I mean, there's going to be a quantitative 3. There's no way you can't have a quantitative 3. I mean, there could be no recovery when there's a lack of job creation. There's no debt control, and Republicans want to cut a whopping $61 billion from a budget deficit of 1.6. What are you, nuts?
Isn't it like a day or two's worth of budget? I mean,
it's one day.
It's like that is like a needle in a haystack.
$1,600 billion. And $65 billion. Think of it that way. $1,600 billion, and they're cutting 65. Come on.
You know, that is the proverbial drop in the bucket.
We need money for trains and windmills.
Yeah, the green initiative. That's what we need.
Bullet trains everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Phil Grande is our guest. Phil'sGang.com. Phil, you know, this issue with Japan obviously has a lot of investors concerned. Historically speaking, earthquakes do not really affect the stock market, or at least they have in the past. But in this case, you know, we've got some dicey stuff going on here in the market. Is there a prognostication from your camp? You're putting people in cash, and we're only down, you know, what is it, 100 points, maybe 80 points today so far? We're kind of going sideways.
Yeah, well, we started short about the weekend. Let's see, on Friday, right on that President's weekend, President's Day, that Friday. I said to my gang, believe it or not, I said, you know, I think something's going to happen over the weekend. And I said, so let's cash in, let's take our profit, and let's go short. And sure enough, we came back, and over that weekend, everything blew up in Camel Land, and so we
at Disney Park.
Camel Land.
Come to Camel Land. Come over here.
Yeah, right. I mean, I loved it, John.
I'm so stealing that. You know,
that's another one.
They're going to think I thought of that, Phil. I'm going to steal it so much.
We're with Bob's head writer, Phil, giving us another gem.
Camel Land.
I mean, Camel Land. Think of there, running those camels down the middle of the street.
Oh my God.
But if you really think about how funny it was, there's the camels going down the middle of the street, and then the other side they're there with their computers. I mean, that was unbelievable. But no, I just think right now that it's like a toothache. You know, we're really funny. This country's unbelievable. Wall Street's going to forget about this in about another 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, you know, let's talk about that. Listen, I want to start a campaign with your radio show and our radio program called Keep the Fear Alive. Because what's going to happen is, remember the end of last year, all the crap that happened. Yeah. We're going to have all the hearts and flowers this year, the third year of the presidential cycle. You know, it's the McRib year of the presidential cycle. So it's going to be all hearts and flowers in the market. And by the time election time comes, all these fish are going to forget about how bad it was the first 2 years. Phil, we got to keep the fear alive.
Yeah, and I just think, again, the beautiful thing about this market is how they set up with this QE2. And what people don't realize, which is really funny, and nobody those dopes on CNBC, and they never talk about it. You really think about the GDP growth rate for 2011 is around 2% to 2.25% at best. And banks used to shut down lending. Remember, you couldn't go get a mortgage on your house as soon as GDP dropped below 5%. Yeah. So so if you take the stock market rally that we've had, I mean, since March 2009, where it was all rigged when they changed things from mark to market to mark to model. That was another great one. Boy, someone had a brain fart with that one. I mean, unbelievable. Mark to market, mark to model. I mean, hey, yeah, just mark our garbage up to whatever price we want.
Right.
But the point is that I'm just so excited about this market. Because I can see nothing bad coming other than they're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over. Because just think about it. If they stop, where can this market go?
You're right. I mean, now they're forced into it. But here's the other question, though. What does that do to our dollar since we're a global currency?
Yeah, I'm writing this down.
Buy some camels. That's all. You got to get hard assets, man.
Yeah.
Learn Chinese.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, the market, our dollar is going to get crushed. I can't wait. I can't wait till one morning we wake up and the 10-year bonds at a 4 handle, and all of a sudden everyone's going to say, gee, there is inflation. And, the dollar's going to really keep getting killed.
Yeah, that's a reason that these exchange traded funds, for gold and physical,
absolutely,
are the way to kind of
absolutely,
because then you get the benefit of investing in the market while it's going up. Plus, you get look at GLD's got physical gold in vaults in London. I mean, at least they say they do.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, there's some safety there. Gold goes up to 1,800. Phil, do you have a price high for gold in your head at this point?
No, not really. No,
Me neither.
I don't either. I don't even know what I'm going to have for supper tonight. But but you mentioned something. Exchange traded funds. Think about this. They this market. They keep ramping it up through printing all this money. And I think the key, and I keep telling my students, I keep saying, you got to learn how to start shorting. Everybody's always this bugaboo about shorting is dangerous and all that. But I think we rode this thing up now, for 2.5 years?
Yeah.
And man, I think we're going to ride this thing down. Maybe be another year, maybe another 2 years, depending on the quantitative easing if they do QE3. But boy, for people to learn how to short, because you're going to have a wonderful ride all the way down. The best ski slope ever. I mean, exciting.
It'll be some stuff. Phil, thank you so much. Phil Grande is his name. PhilGang.com is their website. And Phil, I appreciate it as always, pal. The Wall Street Radio Network, or I beg your pardon, the Off the Wall Street Radio Network is his stuff. Phil, thanks so much, pal. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's fun.